If you're thinking about getting ready for your grade 3, this is a lovely piece to do. It's got some fun rhythms, got a little bit of syncopation. That's the sort of the jazzy off the beat rhythms in the piece. You've got some really useful, very logical dynamic changes. So you're going to be able to demonstrate your loud playing and your softer playing. And it's got some nice rhythms where you have to use particular parts of the bow to help you play them really successfully. So it's a very good piece to demonstrate what you can do. Now, possibly one of the newest things in this piece for you will be using third position. Now, we'll start with first position, then you'll go on to fourth position, and that's all great. That's all very, very clear. And then the second and the third position in between, these are the pieces where you start to practice using them, and they're really jolly useful. So how do we start? Well, you will know the rhythm, I'm sure, but I'm going to play at a nice practice speed so that you can get the idea of what I'm suggesting you try to put into your playing. So it's good to have a nice strong fourth finger, and make sure that your thumb is opposite second. If it's back here, your pinky is weaker. So you have to keep your thumb in the middle of the hand and help that fourth finger. So you find your first note. Okay, so there we go. Nice in tune fourth finger on the D string. And here we go. So you see the kind of bow stroke I'm using. So I'm using quite a grippy bow stroke. The bow is a little bit heavy, a little bit sticky, but I move it quite fast. I don't come out of the string at all. That kind of bow movement, okay? So we have quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. Now that very action, you can see that I do quick, quick, quick here, and the slow note takes me to a different part of the bow. And then the next bar, I do quick, quick in that part of the bow, and I come back. So you try that and see what that does for your sound, because you have to match it up. So nice strong part of the bow. So at this part of the bow, you have to make that strong as well. Okay, again, listen. Strong. How do I do that? I lean the weight of my arm, my bowing arm, onto the first finger of the bow. I'm sure your teachers will have told you to lean the hand onto that first finger, kind of near the stripes on your bow or the silver bit on your bow. Imagine that you are pouring a glass of water or a bottle of water, and you tip your arm over, and it's your fingers that put the bow back horizontal. Now, if you've got that kind of angle with your bow hold on the string, you'll get a good grit to the string. There we go, up to fourth position. Now, what I see a lot of my students do when they start to learn this piece is that their left hand is lovely and relaxed, which is a great thing in many ways. But when it comes to the pinky and shifting onto the pinky, you have to make it a little bit more stubborn. Not squeezing because you can't shift, but make your pinky say, no, I'm not going to bend, because I see young players do this. And the pinky is kind of collapsed as you shift up. That's partly because maybe you're squeezing a bit too tight, or it's because your pinky is a little bit too soft. So don't let your hand be too tight on the cello, and don't let your pinky be too soft on the cello. So somewhere in the middle. So a stubborn fourth finger that wants to reach out and get there first. And as you shift into fourth position, remember, it's the arm that takes the hand to that new position. So that's your first shift into bar 5. Can you do that? So remember, stubborn, strong pinky, not strong like that, just strong as in, I'm not going to move. I'm not going to move towards third finger. Okay, so from the beginning, good bow grip on the string. Strong, stubborn fourth finger. And again. gritty little bows. Don't use too long a bow stroke. Okay, so I'll try again from the beginning. I'll show you. Play with me. 1 and 2, go. This is all mezzo forte, so it's quite prominent. Strong pinky. Little bows. So a much shorter bow. And then the same for a while, but softer. So I'm going to use a slightly lighter bow and a slightly slower moving bow. So I don't use too much. That gives us a slightly fluffy sound. We don't need that. So a smaller length and slower speed of bow. Same shift again. Back to first position. Now where 4 would go now, line up 1. So what's happening is I need to put my first finger in 3rd position. So line it up to there. Okay, so there's your 4th finger note. That is where first finger puts your hand in 3rd position. So from the top of bar 13, first position, that note you just played, put 1. Note that I stretch between 1 and 2, and that allows us to play 4th finger on the D string. Don't forget that. So let me show you again from the beginning of that line back to first position. Nice strong stubborn pinky. The arm moves the hand into 3rd position. First finger on 3rd position. If you do it just with the finger, the rest of the fingers haven't gone into 3rd position, even if you manage to find it, which generally we don't. When you shift, your arm has to take your hand to the new position. Just like somebody picking you up on your chair and moving you. You haven't stretched over there. You were lifted and placed. And that is how you shift all the time. So here we go. 4th position, the arm moves the hand. The hand stays cello shape. Up to 3rd position. Stretch. And we use those notes again before we shift. So I'm going to do that 3rd line again, bar 13. Look at how I shift. The arm takes me and the pinky stays strong. Did you see how I lifted my arm up to play that 4th finger? It's because the pinky is shorter than the rest of the fingers. So we have to take it in its normal playing shape over to a lower string. And the only way we can do that, we don't play flatter, we don't reach out with the 4th finger, it will never be in tune. So we lift this part. Imagine there's an elastic band, hairband around your wrist. Somebody's grabbed and they're pulling your arm up to take that 4th finger to reach the D string. Bar 13 again. 3rd position, lift the wrist, back to the A string. 1st position. And then you've got 1 and 2 and 2 and 2 and rest. Now look at the little bow that I use for this. I play with my bow on the string. It's sitting there ready. My first finger is ready. And then you've got 1 and 2 and 2 bars, rest and rest. Slow it down and back to time. And a strong bow again. Remember that gritty bow stroke? Stubborn pinky, up it goes. Oh look, now we need 3rd position straight away. So we're going to shift to there. It's a smaller shift. Remember, this one is different. It's really useful as you play this section. So from the A tempo, which is bar 28, 7, 6, 25, you got to think to yourself, this is a new one. This is the 2nd time it's different. Think a message to yourself as you're approaching bar 29, and you won't forget to shift differently because it's not quite the same as bar 15. So here we go, I'm going from A tempo, bar 25. Strong, stubborn pinky. D string. Okay, so here we go. 28, strong pinky, little shift, lift the wrist up, home to first position, and we go quieter. So the arm is nice and low because we're on the C string. Now what's going on there? We have a C minor arpeggio. This is fourth finger's in fourth position. Your first finger has to play a flat, so it can't go into fourth position. It's got to reach back. That is the one time when you have to move your first finger within the hand shape, wherever you're shifting. If the first finger's got to play a flat, it's got to be a little bit further back. So from the E flat in the last line, you see what I'm doing with my first finger? When I want to play an E flat on the D string, I don't move the hand back. You just point to it and you can play your E flat. You don't have to move back for it. If you move back, this note's going to be out of tune. So you keep your hand in first position. Your first finger is strong enough to just reach out to that flat while the rest of the hand stays where it was. So E flat, but the hand is, look at that shape of the hand. So E flat is back here, 2, 3 and 4 are in normal fourth position, and my thumb is right down at the bend of the cello. Okay, it's right down there. So that last bit, arm takes you with a stretch, and then left hand, pizzicato. It's always good to pluck round about here, fourth position, because it's at its most resonant. So the whole piece, dynamic-wise, strong and nice and brave at the beginning. And you have a crescendo, use a faster bow. So more bow is the best way to get your big, loud, dynamic changes there. Now note, when it goes quieter, I use much less bow. So all of the dynamic changes that I just created there, I did with different speed bow, and you can achieve that as well. So here's the crescendo, accelerate the bow. But I keep my bow near the string or on the string. Less bow, tiny bows. And then this is slower bow, less bow. And then we get a crescendo again. Accelerate the bow. Strong pinky, third position, lift the wrist, then back home to first position. Then piano's got a little bit of a tune there, and then you put your bow on the string, tiny bows. Just play somewhere in the middle is good. And then the next bit with a little bit of a rit as well. And then when we play the beginning, the bit that's like the beginning again, you have to play a different dynamic. It's like, I know this, I've heard this, we're back home. This is the different one. Third position, lift the wrist. First position, getting softer. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 flats. Now when you do that, this is something I haven't said yet. When you slur from one string to the next in one bow, don't do it with your wrist. That will be lumpy and bumpy, and you can't rely on it being really rhythmic. So if you actually lift the upper arm up, because we actually have optimum arm heights for each string. So the best sound comes when we put our arm in C string height. If I try to do it up here, it's not a good sound. If I do it with my arm in C string height, it's a good sound. Now, if I play my arm in a low string height and try to play the A string by lifting my wrist, it's not a good sound. Every string has its favorite arm height. And you need to think about that when you do this. So you're going to get it really smooth. You do have to move your arm, basically. If you try to play this without moving your arm, it doesn't work as successfully. So you want your best quality tone there, okay? Up to the A string height. Good strong sound there. And left hand pits. Enjoy.